Holy cow, it's week 6 of Hogging the Mic. Yeah, Jesus, we're still doing this. I'm your host, Eddie Jenkins, with the other host, Kenneth J. Palthor III. How you doing, Mon Frere?
At times when we must face death and loss, we need one another's company for understanding and support.
Stop
Just,
stealing my lines.
just, just to be together, to look into one another's faces, takes away some of our loneliness and draws our hearts together in the healing which we can offer one another. At such times, the ways that sustain us separately come together in a virtual harmony that acts across all creeds and assures us of the permanence of human goodness and hope.
How many
So
people
we are
just
gathered.
they're just
We
turning
are
this off
gathered
right
here
now.
today.
Was this said at your bris, or are you going to offer me some Kool-Aid? What's happening here?
So we are gathered here today in grief and sorrow. But we have also gathered to celebrate a season. We have come together to give thanks that we knew this vibrant team, to express our gratitude for the days and years we were able to share with them. We are here to remember and memorialize a good and caring season by remembering the best of them, by recalling some of their finest qualities, by honoring their principles, values, and dreams which guided their season along with our lives. We are gathered for all these things, but our first task is to face, full and unafraid, the reality of this death and the grief and loss we feel.
Is he still talking?
Hashtag eulogy.
That was awful.
I don't know what I'd rather
Your
do,
2015 poems are better.
sit through that or watch Landon Collins. I can't decide.
It's close. It's pretty close, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Well, that was a long. How are you doing?
I'm not
Jesus.
well. I am not well.
He's
Yeah,
obviously not well.
I guess Hawaiian shirts are now suicidal. And your other host, Maximum Bacon. How you doing there, old chap?
Doing okay. It's Monday night, which is interesting for us. We normally don't do it this early, and we're doing it during a Ravens game. So we got Kenny out. Got Kenny out off of his other favorite team. So,
and what a night it has been. And the game's not even the number one story in football right now. And, you know, I would like to take great joy in another team being just, a steaming pile of shit. But of course, our team is connected with it in some way, because aren't they always?
our
Aren't
dark
they
cloud
always?
spreads throughout the country.
Bruce Allen, the gift that keeps on. Are you docking? The Bruce Allen, the gift that just keeps on giving. I'm sure everybody's heard it by now, but John Gruden gone. 10 years, $100 million. Not so fast. Not so fast.
Just a little factoid. Do you know? I don't know if I even just sent you the text. Do you know that his $100 million, his final career in Oakland and Las Vegas, his final record was 22-31.
Yeah, I saw that.
$100 million bucks.
Makes sense. It's interesting. I don't think he's probably changed his stripes. But I think the NFL does need to get a little bit more consistent in some of their punishments. Because, I mean, his career's over. I don't think he'll broadcast again. I don't think he'll coach again. Yet we have Antonio Brown, who paid off a rape.
Yeah.
Still in the league, being on, that bright-eyed, bushy-tailed douchebag of a Tom Brady's team. And
you can even link it into the game this week with Tyreek Hill and his women beating and all that stuff. So
all I ask for is, some consistency in punishments. Maybe he's getting punished for things awful. I'm guessing he probably still says these same things uh, that he said 10 years ago in emails or 6 years ago in emails,
when he
depending on which
wasn't
ones you're
even
talking
in
about.
the NFL. He
Yeah.
was
No,
working for ESPN.
they said these emails went from 2011 through 2018. They
Yeah.
just discovered a bunch of them. That's why I think Al Davis, who's also just an evil person, was like, "We can't have this. Get out."
Yeah, well,
I just think they need to be more consistent in their punishments. Does he deserve to get axed?
Sure.
Yes. Do people like Tyreek Hill, Adrian Peterson, Antonio Brown deserve to be in the NFL? No. And one of them's not anymore. Thank goodness.
I
And
mean,
now another one's not.
we could put John Gruden out there at safety, and he would do just as well, probably on the field as he did at coaching.
I kicked a traffic cone into the street earlier, and it would do better. I didn't kick it into the street. I didn't kick it into the street.
Also, probably better kick than Dustin Hopkins.
Yeah, it went through right through 2 bumpers, didn't hit a car.
Or non-kick, because he can't kick it above 50 yards. Apparently, our coach doesn't have enough faith to let him try.
And I think this is just indicative, and maybe it's just after a very depressing Sunday. It just shows you how bad this franchise has been and for how long. And even, I think honestly, I think the last time there was any joy in this franchise, and maybe the last time there ever will be, was the 2012 season. I don't know that they're ever going to be good again. I hate to I hate to grab the yoke from the pilot and plunge this plane deep into a nosedive, but there's something there that's just rotten. I don't know what it is. Are they cursed? Maybe. Are they the new Cubs? Possibly.
No,
I just don't think they're ever going to be good again.
It can happen.
I just don't think they're ever going to be good again.
Cup. It can happen.
I don't think they're ever going to be good again.
They're going to be good again.
Kenny was at the stadium, so he didn't get to hear the broadcast, but the announcers called out how ass backwards we're doing this rebuild. They're like, most franchises start with the quarterback and build around them. Washington has spent a boatload of first round picks on the defensive line, and
that they're not going to be able to sign all of. That has been playing like utter poops. Like,
so we don't need to sign all of them.
Yeah, but you've also just wasted a bunch of first round draft picks that you could have spent on something valuable.
So, in hindsight, we've wasted 30 first round draft picks over the last 30 years.
Yeah, so
they've wasted 30 years of my life.
I was looking back at our draft classes because obviously to build a team, you got to have successful drafts. We have nobody except Brandon Scherf from 2015 and before, which is pretty sad because it's only like 6 years.
And he's not going to sign either.
And I just want to kind of go through our first 3 round picks of
70-30 he doesn't sign.
So 2016, our first 3 picks, Josh Dotson, Stuart Cravens, and Kendall Fuller, who happened to make it back to our team after we traded him away.
And now he's awful.
So there's one.
Fuller's not awful. I think Fuller's like one of our better guys. Like, he's not doing great, but like he's also playing with a bunch of Landon Collinses.
And they also play 10 yards off the ball.
Right. Well, yeah, I don't blame him. Fuller's the last guy I blame, to be honest.
Yeah,
he might be the last guy I blame, but he's still not been good.
Yes.
Sure.
So one decent pick out of those 3. Shout out
for
to
Kansas City
also being in that class. The next year we took Jonathan Allen, Ryan Anderson, and Fabian Moreau. All, Jonathan Allen, success, but defensive lineman, again, they're not doing that much this year.
He's
next year, Daron Payne, Darius Geis, Jerron Christian.
Old Darius.
Yep. One out of the 3 still on the team. Next year, Dwayne Haskins, Montez Sweat, Terry McLaurin. Okay, we'll give you that.
Ain't bad.
We'll give you that one. But,
one steaming turd.
Haskins is a big
two nice ribeyes.
Big whiff. Then you got the next year Chase Young, Antonio Gibson. We didn't have a second rounder. And then this year, Jamin Davis, Samuel Cosme, St. Juste, and De'Ami Brown.
So let's go ahead and just say officially horrified. Not even worried. This is a grade over worried about Jamin Davis. Horrified.
Yes.
Even with the starter out, he played what 13 snaps in the game. This is a big stinky poo right here.
Who was even
Wow.
playing? If he wasn't playing, I mean, who did that even leave? I know Cole Holcomb was
Shouldn't
out
that
there a
tell you
lot, but like,
enough?
yeah, yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
ready to say anything definitive, but it's definitely a red challenge flag.
It's there's a lot of just not good things I'm seeing. Like I'm gonna and I said this earlier in our text chat together. I'm officially worried about the coaching staff in general. Like I'm not ready to kick them out on the street, but I'm worried about them. There's some just like Rivera coming out during his press conference earlier and talking about how there's not going to be any defensive scheme changes
Or coaching
because
changes.
because the scheme has been so good. I mean, a
Ah,
coaching change right now is probably extreme. I'll give him that. Like, if they still keep playing this way by the end of the year, if Del Rio's not gone, what the f? Um,
So, yeah, just let me throw this out there. Our defense this week played a C kind of game. It wasn't awful
it was their
overall.
best game,
It was by far their best game, but
which is
they had
sad.
3 awful big plays that basically ruined the game for us. The rest of the time, they were A, B, C ball, like, and then you have these 3 big plays that put you down 21 points, and when you only score 22, there you go.
Uh, the, I mean, you can't give up those, and I think the play of the season that's indicative of just how bad this team is the Hail Mary, and then Landon Collins' comments after.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
we
weren't
weren't
ready for
even ready
that.
for that. It's like they normally play 10 yards off the ball, and then when they're getting ready for a Hail Mary, he plays up close. This team is awful. The coaching is suspect. Like, even if you don't want to blame it on Ron, you got to blame Jack. What the hell is he doing?
If you have the ball at midfield and there's 2 seconds left, what play are you running?
Especially with Jameis Winston, who does have a big arm.
right. Well, so there was 8 seconds left. The play that they probably should have done that most teams do is the sidelines. Now, in saying that, as someone that's in the NFL, there's 2 plays that could happen on that play, on that Hail Mary. The one play is to the sidelines, which is, you give that up. The other one's a Hail Mary. How are you not prepared for that? How are you saying we're not prepared for that? So I have 2 rants. Everyone
Another
settle
one.
down. This is going to take 35 minutes. This is now a solo show, hogging the mic. I have hijacked the show.
I'm gonna go get my Switch. I'll be back.
It's now hogging the cry.
Rant number 1. So defense. I'm gonna do the 2 things. Let me preface this. I started with a funeral.
We don't need to preface this rant.
hold on. Prologue. Before chapter 1. I have called the season. The season's done. There's no turning this around. We see what the team's gonna do. In saying that, I'm not gonna sit here every week and just shit on this team. We can do that based on their weekly performance, but I think overall we see what they are. They're a bad team that has taken a step backwards. Let's focus on week to week performances.
And what does that tell you, though, if they're a team that's taken a step backwards? Is it just the players? Or are you worried about the coaches?
This week we can talk about that. I mean, like as it progresses, we can talk about that. This can't just become hogging the sadness where we just shit on the team for an hour and then move on, because that's 30 years in the making. But I got 2 rants. Chapter 1, okay? Page 1 of a 1,000-page Lord of the Rings style book.
So you're gonna walk a lot?
Right, just like our defense. So
no point at the end. They just drop it in the volcano.
my first thing, chapter 1 is called accountability. Okay, chapter 1, accountability. How is there somebody uncovered or wide open? Because we're not playing a soft zone. This isn't soft zone shit where just somewhere like we're just 20 yards off the guy. Which is what we've been doing for 20 years, where I watch a guy in the middle of the field catch a ball, and there's 4 guys in the general area, and they're all just kind of waving to him. They're like, man, we wish we were on your team, but we're not. 35-yard gain. This is guys that are wide open who are just unaccounted for. So as Jack Del Rio, you got to ask a simple question. It's a simple question, which also goes back to your comments that our coach, Rivera, like he's saying the scheme is fine. Let's think about this. So if you're Jack Del Rio, you see a guy uncovered. It happened multiple times this game. Like Max just said, there were like 4 plays, 4 that cost us this entire game. And those 4 plays will cost us every game for the rest of the season if we keep doing things like this. 4 times there was a guy unaccounted for. As a coordinator, you have to ask yourself, is it my scheme or was it a player? If it's your scheme, change the scheme. But our coach said our scheme's fine. If it's a player, bench that player. Have him sit out. Why aren't you accounted for? There's no accountability right now, and I'm scared.
And that coach is supposedly, Rivera is supposedly big on accountability, but I have seen a complete lack of it all season on defense. I've seen a complete lack of it. Like, correct. I finally had a Chase Young sighting at one point. That was kind of cool. A small little flashy poo of what he did last year, and then nothing.
Right. Well, right. But he had a much better game, I thought, than he had been doing. He was a presence on some plays versus a zero presence on all plays.
Yeah, I think you keep in mind, like, these successful seasons for these defensive ends are like 12 sacks. I mean, you can't even expect a sack a game to call it a great season.
Right.
Well, he's not on pace for that.
Well, let's go back to scheme with Chase Young. Let's combine the two. I saw, because I was at the game, so there's a lot less I noticed in the stands versus some other things I might notice. One thing I didn't notice, which was pointed out to me after the game through Twitter, I saw that on the first drive, we had Chase Young lined up like a linebacker. And when I say that, I don't mean a Ryan Kerrigan linebacker where you're just like 2 yards off the end standing up. I mean 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, standing straight up, like calling the shots. 3rd and 6, they threw right next to him for a first down because, wait, what's that? This just in, breaking news, Chase Young isn't a linebacker. It's like, so why are we doing that scheme right off the bat?
When Chase Young was playing linebacker, it was like obvious what the Saints were going to do because he was standing up. He, once again, like we talked about last week, gave away that he was going to blitz. And you see the quarterback going, hey, they're going to blitz everybody in the middle of the field. Let's throw a slant.
And it's always his one bull rush move. I watched him, like, just specifically paid attention to him almost every time because, you know, you think he's going to be a once in a generation player, and he kind of looked like it last year. And no, he bull rushed almost every time. Like,
when he finally went back inside, that's when he got the sack.
Yeah, I think the only time he did anything else is when he got spun around. So I think it was still a bull rush with a plie. It just.
I'm about to move on to rant number 2.
I thought we were already done with that.
Oh no, that was rant number 1. Chapter 2 is called Box Turtle. So this goes back to the 2 problems we have. We already talked about the defense, and I might harp on Landon Collins a little bit. Chapter 2 is Box Turtle. So, middle of the game, we have a 53-yard field goal. We just mentioned this a few minutes ago. And we don't attempt a field goal because we can't trust our kicker. So, my theory is, why are we paying Dustin Hopkins when we could pay a Box Turtle? Because Dustin Hopkins has something in common with a Box Turtle. Both of them made the same amount of, both attempted the same amount of 53-yard field goals on Sunday. They attempted 0 because we had trust Dustin Hopkins as much as we would trust a Box Turtle. That's our kicker. Why do we have a kicker that we can't even put on the field? 53 yards is not long.
Because there's no accountability. He's our kicker. Like, is Rivera? I thought he was Latinx or whatever. Not an old white conservative afraid of change, you know, just like, get off my lawn. Like, what's his deal? Why is it? What does Hopkins have on him?
What does a lot of people have on? But by the way, I like the choose your own adventure reference you made because you went back to chapter 1 as if it was like, if you choose to do nothing, turn to page 6. And that's what we do every year.
This team is a circle. Time is a flat circle.
Time is a broken arrow. BoJack Horseman, 2018.
Oh, it's a flat circle. Oh, it's awful.
Well,
And I don't even know what to say. Like, and just after that game and then getting hit with this now because the team is trending. The former name is trending right now on the old tweet machines for all the wrong reasons yet again because Dan Snyder's an awful person.
Yeah.
I wish Jay-Z would buy the team at this point, honestly.
I mean, honestly, he's got the majority. I don't see him giving it up unless
No,
there's some sort of big.
not after Roger Goodell let that happen. Like,
I mean,
let that happen.
There should be
So you're saying
no
Gruden
talk of selling the team. He's not selling the team. We're stuck with Dan Snyder till all three of us are 97-year-old.
Oh no, that's fine.
Doing the same podcast in our 86th year
No,
of existence.
the only way he goes out is if there was something in those emails where he was saying some of the same messed up shit that Bruce Allen was saying. That's the only way.
Are you saying Gruden was right about Goodell? He's
No,
a spineless, non-football coward.
I don't like Goodell, but I would never have called him the words that John Gruden called him.
That's the biggest thing. He could have criticized Goodell. It's the words he used. He's obviously a transphobic, homophobic, racist human being. I've always said the only way we get Snyder out of here, we need hard audio or video. If we don't have either of those, Dan Snyder is going to be a special guest in 2076 on Hoggin' the Mic season 59.
Geriatric edition.
I honestly thought he was like, okay, he's fooled me many times, and I'm an idiot for actually believing it for once. But I thought he was like stepping back, letting somebody that knows what they're doing, like Ron, make all these decisions. He's finally just opening up his wallet, like we've said, and letting a football guy make the moves.
He said that with Shanahan too.
Right, but and the football guy's making the moves, but the moves aren't obviously good moves. Like
Gibbs 2.0 was kind of the same thing. He was the first time he ever let somebody do something other than him.
And it's because he had such reverence for Gibbs and he wouldn't dare bad mouth or say anything against Gibbs. The only thing that was bad about Gibbs 2.0 was he had been out of the game for so long. Unfortunately, the game had passed him by a bit. But I swear to God, he just willed those teams forward and into the playoffs.
Right. So I still say this to this day. Under Gibbs 2.0, 4 seasons, we made the playoffs twice. We have not been that successful before Gibbs 2.0 and besides Gibbs and after Gibbs 2.0. And he had the least talented roster in the last 25 years.
Oh yeah. I mean, he almost did it with Todd Collins. He almost took him even further.
He got to the playoffs with Todd Collins. We had Sean Taylor, one of the best. We had LeVar Arrington for like those 3 to 4 years, like one of the best.
A good Clinton Portis and a good Santana Moss.
And other than those specific 4 players, maybe Chris Cooley for a hot minute.
Chris Samuels.
Okay. And we just named maybe the only like Redskins back then that were known. Like everyone else was a no name.
And they were all just bad. And we had a blind as a bat Carlos Rogers and check down Charlie himself, Jason Campbell. Just awful.
I still like telling the story that one of my favorite Redskin memories, just how bad our franchise is. We're just going to go down that road for this week. Carlos Rogers, we had our team. He was ours. He could not catch the ball. We got sick of him. Fans got sick of him. We ship him off. And the first thing San Francisco, right?
Yep.
49ers do is they do an eye test, what like kids do. And they said, "Oh, you need glasses." And then the next year he was a Pro Bowler because he put in contacts.
Supposedly they had done that, but he refused to get it done. Supposedly.
Yeah, our team's so bogged down in shit. I guarantee they did a sound test and they're like, "Your eyes are fine."
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So
I think part of the problem is too, we get these coaches that are great coaches, but the game is just slightly passed them by.
Is Rivera a good coach? How many winning seasons has he had? Quick, somebody Google it.
Okay.
I'm sure it's not a lot, but I'm not ready to give up on the coaching staff.
No, I'm just saying, is he a good coach?
I say
Google it.
I mean, he took he took Carolina to the
I
Super
should
Bowl.
Google
I
is
don't.
Ron Rivera a good coach?
I
He's
don't.
had like 2 winning seasons.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
get to
find.
EddieJenkins.com where it's just a picture
Let's
of
see here. I'm
Ron
gonna look it up
Rivera on a boat in a
really quick
dress.
for you.
Hey, I don't find Carolina to be like a known football city. It's not like Charlotte's not where you go to win a Super Bowl. It's just it was impressive what he did there to me.
I agree. I thought he took a bad team and he did the best he could with them. I like the discipline he brings. That we just said we're talking about accountability. It's also been 5 weeks. I know we had it last season too, and I thought last season 3 what?
3 winning seasons. He started in Carolina in 2011. He went 6-10, then 7-9, 12-4.
Ooh, great!
Followed that up with a 7-8, a 15-1,
Whoa!
a 6-10 after that,
It happens.
11-5,
My goodness.
a 7-9,
Yeah.
a 5-7.
Yeah.
Before he started
we're
here,
in our 5-7 season.
Before he started here, he was 76-63 with 1 tie, and now he's at 85-75.
Let me ask you this question: when Ron Rivera was the coach of Carolina and Washington was playing Carolina, you never felt good about it. Am I right?
Well, it didn't matter who was the coach because I remember, Jake Delhomme trucking D'Angelo Hall for a first down when all they had to do is stop them. He let Jake Delhomme truck him.
I was gonna say I don't remember that because I blacked out when I saw it and had to go to therapy immediately after.
I smashed a bag of Doritos. I was so angry.
That's when he switched to Ritz crackers.
It was never Ritz crackers.
Okay, well, so I will still say I thought last year was very impressive what Ron Rivera did with our team, what Jack Del Rio did with our team. 5 games in, I'm not impressed this year. Looks like we're taking a couple steps backwards with no signs of correcting that anytime soon. I give coaching staffs, unless there is absolute toxic shit happening, I give full coaching staffs 3 seasons. We're in season
fair.
2.
That's fair. And something else that we talked a little bit about earlier this week in our text chat that's just interesting. 1, in 2 weeks, there have been 2 major controversies in the NFL, and this team has been tied to them. Awesome. And another is, do you really want... I'm all about football people making football decisions. I think that's fantastic. Ron should run the team the way he needs to. He's a football person. But I don't really like the fact that he's involved with all the branding initiatives and stuff. Maybe focus on your awful team and the scheme that doesn't need any work. I don't really want a losing coach naming this franchise. I don't want him involved with it, but that's just me. If Jason Wright is, that's fine. If stupid Snyder is, it's got to happen. But I really don't want Rivera involved in it. I don't think he should be. I think it's a distraction.
I don't think that Ron Rivera is sitting there drawing logos for our team in the future.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you seen the hype video and every piece of this, every step of the way? He's been the forefront of this branding movement. It's not even Jason Wright.
Somebody probably pulled him in the room and was like, "Get in here. We're going to put you on this."
Correct.
It's a coaching-centered approach.
But he's a guy that the casual fan knows. No casual fan knows who Jason Wright is. No casual fan knows who probably the real guys making these decisions. Ron Rivera is a very trustworthy man that you can put right there and say, I'm going to make decisions. And you're like, I like this guy. He's a tugboat man. And he went to the Super Bowl. And then you trust him.
And lost.
That was Cam Newton's fault. That's neither here nor there. We don't know what's actually happening behind the scenes other than Dan Snyder has whips and he's hitting his staff and he's saying, make me money. And they're like, yes, sir. Sorry for making us try to be good. We'll do whatever you need.
And just to top it off in this sad cast, and hopefully we bring it up a little bit next week. We won't, but we'll try. We'll give it the old college try. It's just been a rough day. It's been a rough week.
We'll talk about how awesome those Chiefs highlights were.
Yeah, it's like, here's what a real football team looks like. But how about that stadium attendance? How about the who dat and the loud chants of defense while the team was on offense. It's
Okay, so
embarrassing. The state of the franchise in general right now, the lowest attendance in the National Football League by far. And then the majority of those fans aren't aren't team fans.
It was, I mean, it was well deserved. Honestly, the Saints are a team we should have. Yeah, well, any mediocre team could beat the Saints with Jameis Winston. The Giants beat the Saints with Jameis
Yeah.
Winston. We just did. I mean, we played pretty bad overall. Like even like Heineke, we can go into that if you want to. He didn't look very good.
I think
Like
he
nothing
pressed
looked
it.
very
I
good.
I think he pressed it a lot. I think he did some good things, but he did a lot of bad things as well. I think when he starts to get into that thing where he thinks he has to like win it, like in that situation, like where they're down by a considerable amount, he overpresses things, and he forced the ball in several times. But we are, ostensibly again looking at a 28-year-old rookie. Do I think he's the one? Maybe is the guy for right now? Definitely. We don't need to see Kyle Allen.
If you
He's not going to
wanna,
win any more games. He's not going
if
to
you
tell us
wanna
anything we don't know.
if you want to blame it on the pressing, that's fine because I mean they were playing down, but not by much. Some of those throws he was making, I'm like, that's something you put me on the field and see. Like he literally was throwing 10 yards short right to a defender. Like some of those passes were bad. It wasn't like
Oh
he was
yeah,
trying to make something happen, and
I think he
it was
was
just
trying to
like
throw the ball, hoping somebody made a play, and not necessarily doing it in a smart way. There's some plays though that he made like that fourth where they went for it on fourth down toward the end of the game. That was a big boy throw. And it was a really good throw. So I think you know what you kind of get with him at least right now in this form of Heineke. Maybe he gets better. Maybe this is just who he is in general. Uh, but I think you get the good with the bad, and you take that with when you again have basically a rookie quarterback.
I think that Heine we've seen, I think this is a ceiling. I think he's going to have better games and he's going to have worse games, but I think we've seen a ceiling. But I still am on the bus of he does more good than bad in most games.
Yeah, and maybe we see him get better. Maybe we don't. And I think that's something I'd rather see and take that chance on because this season is not going to be good, especially with this defense. I know who Kyle Allen is. I know exactly
yeah.
who he is.
But
And
if we see good Heineken games, good bad Heineke games, are we still on the boat that we probably should draft a quarterback this year?
not if
If
there's nothing there.
Well, we'll have the top two picks, so probably can get a quarterback at that point.
And not a very quarterback rich draft. I don't know if you've looked. Maybe somebody emerges, but it doesn't look great right now. I could see, and this is something I don't want to see, because his name keeps getting mentioned, and you know they were into him when he was in the draft.
Don't say Cam Newton. Oh, get the
No,
draft.
Tua. I don't want it.
Gross. No, forget that.
yeah, he looked good a little bit, but he's just obviously proven to be injury prone.
I think he's injury prone. I just don't think he's very good.
He could be his ceiling's like Carson Wentz.
I think Carson Wentz might be better than that, to be honest.
Carson was trash.
I think he's trash, but he did have that one good season, and then he couldn't take it home.
He's got talent, but he just keeps getting hurt, and it's like you can't depend on somebody that keeps getting hurt. It's like Jordan Reed. We tried to have Jordan Reed as our top tight end for 5-10 years, and every year, oh, Jordan Reed looks awesome.
He does look awesome,
Play.
and then his
There was a
brain falls
play
out
I
his
remember.
nose.
Sorry, there was a play I remember with Jordan Reed where he caught the ball, and as he was running down the field, his limbs were like falling off, like left and right. He got
True
down
story.
to the torso that just rolled into the end zone with the football in his mouth, and we were like, "Well, that's the best we're gonna get out of him."
That checks out. But we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping things get better. They won't, but we can hope. At least we have each other, you know.
That's why I read that thing in the beginning. Should I read it again?
There, it was
No.
there was a lot of meandering and prattling, and
Any
I don't
bright
know.
spots? Any bright spots you'd like to mention from the Saints game before we move on to the destruction that is oncoming?
Gibson's good. I like Gibson.
The offense is fine. The offense is functional.
McLaurin still really good.
I gotta go
Average
negative for
game.
a second. Chris Samuels is bumming me out right now. Now it's a
Curtis.
pattern, also with him.
Chris Samuels.
Curtis Samuel.
Curtis Samuel.
Chris Samuels is bumming me out because he's not the left tackle for the team anymore. But
No,
that too.
Curtis
Eddie,
Samuel.
Eddie
Maybe
may
we
be
should
right.
just sit him for like half the season.
I told you what was going to happen. That's going to nag him all
games,
season.
6 games or less. He's played
Like,
2, but those 2 games I don't even count because he's barely been on the field.
Does yesterday count? How many snaps did he play? 3.
Yeah, something insane. But okay, anyway, good things are, like I said, our offense. I trust our offense now to at least drive down the field and get points. Might not be at the red zone. We got to do a little work. But like this is the first time since 2015 Kirk Cousins and 2012 RG3 where when we have the ball, I'm like, we can score on any given drive. And I haven't. Yeah. It's not very often the team makes me feel like that because usually as we're losing it, the average team game, Redskin game, since 2000 or since 1993 to 2020, the average score 24-13 we would lose. And it's like if you scored like 2 touchdowns at some point in the game, you'd win this game. And we can do that now. We're giving up 48 points.
Well, yeah, here we are though. Like we'll leave this game. We'll go by here in a second and give a couple grades. But let's take a moment of silence. So it was miserable. We don't need to belabor it too much more. But let's see here. What do you guys give Heineke for the game, Kenny?
I give Heineke for the game a B-. Like I said, 2 really bad throws, but I really do believe he kept us in the game.
I think he gives you a chance more than anybody else on the roster currently. That's not on IR probably. How about you, Max?
I'm gonna go with a D plus.
I think Kenny was a little nice. I think you're a little harsh. I'm gonna say I'm gonna give him a C minus to like C range. Like depending on what scale you're on with the curve, you might bump it up to a C. I don't think he was great. I don't think he was horrible. I hope to see him press a lot less next game. All right, how about
he's going to be pressing?
Yeah, you know. How about the receivers there, Kenny?
Oof. I gotta say B minus, but that's all over the place. Curtis Samuel hurts that grade a lot. McLaurin didn't have an explosive game, but then you have new and improved DeAndre Carter, the greatest second receiver we have.
Yeah, and we did have Dynamic Brown out and a few other people, so wasn't great. How about you, Max?
Yeah, I'm starting to become a DeAndre Carter fan and believer. I kind of hope that even when everybody comes back healthy, he stays active as like a ball catcher, not just a kick returner. Yeah, I'm going to say like C for the receivers, average.
I'm going to go a C as well, and I want to see more Cam Sims, so hopefully he can find his way on the field and off the injured report this week. All right, let's just go to running backs. We got McKissick, we got Gibby, we got all Patterson, the hometown boy here. I thought they were decent. Didn't think they were great, but I thought they were decent.
Yeah, I mean they got first downs when it mattered. A lot of the time, Gibson had a few good rushes. They didn't use McKissick as much as they needed to. So B minus.
What about you, Kenny?
Oh, I've got to go with a B minus as well. Not a lot of spark throughout the game, but they had 2 touchdowns. Gibson had 2 touchdowns. Like that's what matters. So B minus.
I mean, I'd probably go a little bit higher than that. They did have 131 yards and a 4 yards per rush average. Not too shabby in the NFL, especially when everything else isn't exactly clicking for you.
Scherf was out and Cosme was limping half the game. So
exactly, and the starting field position was awful. Their punter really, really, he did not do them any favors.
I think he was playing Tressway's board game before the game.
I'm gonna give them a solid B. I think they were one of the highlights of the game. Like it was good to see it by committee. Gibson doesn't have to put it all on his back with a stress fracture and his shin. Decent. I do want to see McKissick catch that ball that he dropped, so that would have been a big one. All right, but how about the offensive line? And we'll include tight ends there.
The offensive line might be one of the best surprises of the season, honestly, so far. I think they're better at pass blocking than they are run blocking, but they actually did really well against the run this game too. So um, I'll say like a B.
I think also Heineke gives them more time and makes them look a little better than they are sometimes, if that makes sense, because he's hard to take down. How about you, Kenny?
I agree with that. I agree with both of you, but at the same time, this season, knock on wood, no holding calls for the most part. They're not like, besides Ryan Fitzpatrick dying on like almost the first play, they're not letting like any bull rushes just straight at the quarterback. They are giving Heine some time. He's creating some of his own. I give them an A. I give them an A. Like this is more impressive than it usually is.
I'm gonna give them a B. It is impressive, especially with multiple starters out at this point. It shows that, if anything, there's some depth there, but I do think Heine's doing pretty good. I think something that does need some work is tight end. It's not been great since old Logan Thomas is out. It's not been awful, but there's definitely a lack of depth there and playmaking, I feel like.
Yeah, Ricky Seals-Jones serviceable
Yeah.
while Thomas is out, but still waiting to see Reyes.
Yeah, maybe. I know I think he was in on some like special teams plays. He did play this game, so he was active. All right, let's just go defensive line. Kenny?
Defensive line. This game I thought got a C plus. They had a couple plays, but at the same time, eh.
I'm gonna agree with Kenny almost. I'm gonna say a C minus. How about you, Max?
Yeah,
Actually, a C.
Yeah, I'll stay right in the C range. Nice sack by Chase Young. Made a couple plays.
Strip sack.
Yeah, and other than that, I mean, it wasn't like Kamara ran wild other than a play or two. So,
All right, now we get to the sadness. Linebacking crew, or just orange or burgundy colored traffic cones.
I think we can just save ourselves some time and say linebackers and secondary
F.
Okay. Kenny is up and getting something or going back to his toilet.
Is he gonna poop? We're gonna hear some groans in a moment.
Some lactate groans.
Yeah, he's so gross. He's such an old man. Broken hips and lactate. But yeah, awful. Worst part of the team right now for whatever reason. It's just not good at all. Everything came out clean. Eat enough protein. What is he doing? He does know this is a visual and a sound medium, right? You got to use your words.
5. We're playing charades. L.
Are you giving me the middle finger?
Is this sorry, I'm holding a cap. Is that L the right way or the wrong way based
Wrong
on
way.
Okay. Sorry.
Good God. Anyhow.
Yeah, just lots of dead air. He's really bad at this.
So while Kenny's doing his thing, who are you voting off the island, Eddie?
We're a podcast. Make my hoggies want to see you while I produce stuff.
Okay, are you done? Are you ready now?
Very close. Very close.
Are you sewing together another Hawaiian shirt?
Okay, I have thoughts and opinions on our defensive 7, our back 7. Ready?
Okay, yeah, let's see it. Other way.
He still did it backwards.
Damn it.
Oh, this dyslexic mother effer.
There you go.
He's awful.
That's the right way then.
Can you
You're
just
awful,
save that one for next week? A mirrored F. Oh my gosh.
And you know what? Hopkins still couldn't kick it through those uprights.
For real though.
All right, yeah, F all around. So
who are you voting off the island this week, Eddie?
That's my next question. Who are we voting off the island this week? I know Kenny's got answers. We've already had a group. I think Max also agreed on Landon Collins last week, right?
I did. Yeah, he was the first unanimous.
He was the first. Like after we get to 3, we're tying weights around their waist, and then we're just having them walk into the tide. Which is fine, right? That's murder's fine. At this point. So, who are you kicking off? Who are you kicking off,
Uh,
Kenny? Are you drawing stick figures again? You can't do Landon Collins twice. Okay, that's beautiful.
that is a beautiful picture. Everybody that's listening to this, go on our YouTube video and I guess
Or
we're about the
don't.
45-minute mark, and yeah.
Or don't. So who are
Oh
you who
man.
are you kicking off? Use your words, buddy.
No, but I can't use my words because I'm so upset. And I just want to say mean things to Landon Collins, like his family. I want to say mean
Well,
things.
he's
His
already dead. Who
children, if he has
who who
children.
are we putting another vote for this week?
Oh God! So I can't. Who do I have so far? Who do I pick off? Landon Collins, and who's my other one? I already forget.
That's up to you, buddy. It's
Well, okay,
probably
no, we've done this twice. I already forgot. You know what? Fuck it. Sorry, censor that. Landon Collins my week 1. Landon Collins my week 2. Landon Collins my week 3. That's who I'm voting off. In fact, so I push him into the water. I swim out. I grab him. I grab him back to the beach. I shove him again.
Okay, can we have your real one so we can keep voting unanimously here on our
There's
murders?
no one else that. Let me. Okay.
We're trying to do a murder here,
I have to,
buddy. We're trying to
what?
do a murder.
Okay, I have to rethink about who made me so angry. The only
Okay,
thing
I'm
I
gonna
can
not
think
talk
of
to you anymore. I'm
is
gonna talk to
stupid
Max while
face.
you wax philosophical about your pains. Max, who are you shoving off?
I'm gonna go ahead and finish off Dustin Hopkins.
Kenny.
Me again?
We need one more Hopkins for him to die.
No, but I already chose Dustin Hopkins. I feel like week 2.
I don't think we have confirmed that. So if you do it, he dies. We're kicking him off.
No, well, no, he was 3 for 3. I'm not kicking him off this week.
He's gonna make it hard on us.
Jamin Davis.
He sounds like Ron Rivera. He's like,
You're already out on Jamin Davis. Already out on Jamin
see,
Davis.
you're categorizing me. I'm not.
So Jamin Davis it is. I am also picking Jamin Davis. If Matt votes, he's dead. Max votes, he dead. All right. Now we're gonna move on since Kenny doesn't know how to follow a format.
Let me get real close
all.
to the screen. Jamin, your fate is in my hands. So play better this week.
We're getting the bricks ready, buddy. I've been watching a lot of Sopranos. All right. So good thing, the secondary's awful. And now this week they're playing I guess at Arrowhead East. Slightly less racist Arrowhead East. They're playing the Chiefs. It's not going to be good. This is their get right game. They've not been great this season. Their defense is awful.
We have the same record.
Yeah, I think that's going to change. I think they're going to be a little bit better.
Obviously, when two and three teams play each other.
Well, I mean, they're going to win, is what I'm saying.
Good.
I'm
That's
not
that Daniel Boone high school math there for you.
We were 49th in education.
Mathematics does state that when 2 and 3 teams play, someone's going to have to be better.
Wait, hold on. They
No,
could tie.
You can tie. You could also have two COVID outs, and they could just.
Hey, if we tie the Chiefs, I'll call that a win all day.
I won't. So the most important thing I need to know here are the sizzling keys for victory. Kenny.
Sorry, I was writing things down.
Well,
he's awful this show.
No, this is all for the show. This is all show-related material.
Yeah. Go ahead, Max.
I used to say that in class too. There's about 600 keys to victory this week. They all need to go perfectly for this game to end up in the win column. So Patrick Mahomes is going to have to break his ankle walking off of a curb. Tyreek Hill is going to have to catch COVID.
He's going to have to hit his girlfriend in the face again.
Or hit his girlfriend.
Drag her by the hair.
Again.
Uh-oh. Hogging the realness.
I'm just spitting truth, dog.
This is like TMZ, but in podcast form.
Yeah, Travis Kelce's going to have to jump off of a bridge. No, in all seriousness, our secondary is just going to have to get right, which is highly unlikely.
Kendall Fuller switches teams mid-game. He's like, I'm going back here. I changed my mind.
The only way we win this game is if we outscore the Chiefs. Our secondary has to do something.
Of course.
Yeah, our secondary has
Once
to do
again,
something.
that math.
It's that math, man. I'm telling you, we're smart. Our secondary is going to have to do something. They're going to have to get right, and Heineke's going to have to make a boatload of plays. I mean, that's the only way you beat this team.
And what is worse about their defense is that are they bad in the secondary? Are they bad up front in the run game? Like, is it just a matter of controlling the ball and just grinding it out against them, or is it going to be through the air that they have the biggest chance?
So the Chiefs are actually really bad against the run, and they're not great against the pass. They have a lot of weaknesses on defense. They've spent a lot of money trying to fix their offensive line and a lot of money, getting weapons for Mahomes. So we'll be able to run the ball on them. As long as we don't get too far behind, we can keep running the ball on them. Otherwise, we're going to be throwing a lot.
So what I'd like to see is Heineke not having to win it for them and not pressing. So that's all about grinding the ball out and giving it to Gibson, dumping it off to McKissick, letting him get the ball in space. And Patterson's been, pretty serviceable. He worked his way onto the team during the preseason there, and I'm happy to see a hometown kid get to play for his favorite team. That's always cool.
Yeah.
But I think they can do that. I think they'll have a shot. I think if you do that, limits Heineke's mistakes.
They have a literal blueprint from the Bills last night. The Bills did everything right. They did everything they needed to do to beat the Chiefs. If we could just copy that, the problem is we don't have anywhere near the level of talent that the Bills do.
I was going to say, this is not Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man meme. This is Spider-Man pointing at flaming dumpster fire meme.
Kenny doesn't even know what Spider-Man is.
It's that guy in the blue suit.
It's also red. Anyway, so what's your pick for the score this week, Max?
So the Chiefs are favored, of course.
No kidding.
Surprisingly, by less than a touchdown. It's 6.5. So that being said, Vegas thinks it's going to be a little bit closer game than we all expect. So my prediction is 41-26 Chiefs.
Oh boy, Kenny, what do you got, buddy?
The Washington football team, coming off a very close game with the New Orleans Saints, drops to 2-3. They now host the Kansas City Chiefs, who also have dropped to 2-3, both with struggling defenses. That being said, my prediction is, this might be backwards.
It's actually
45-17. Good job, Kenny.
That's pretty awful, Kenny. We're going to have to teach you some penmanship. I know they teach it.
I love how you can see the
my
F.
handwriting has not changed since I was about 10 years old.
I love how you can see the F through your prediction.
Yeah, that's what I give Kenny's performance this podcast.
Whoa! Okay, Hoggies, we're going to start a poll. If you think I got an A+, like and subscribe below.
Nobody's going
to. That's how this works, right?
You've ruined all of our chances of getting likes and subscribes. I'm going with 42, 23 Chiefs.
Oh, by the way, hey Max, would you like to update the podcast about who's winning the prediction poll?
Why, yes, I'd love to. I actually updated this in my phone today. Kenneth J. Paltrow III is a perfect 4-0.
Perfect 4-0. No, this seems so well.
But he's also a very negative Nancy, so I don't know how that's perfect, Some of us like to have hope sometimes.
He's in tune with his sadness. I am 3-1, and Eddie Jenkins 2-2.
Well, we
I like to have hope
this week, so
I like to have hope.
So there's no hope here this week, though. We're all in agreement that we're going to lose. We're probably now, I don't know, Are we gonna
I'll
play a
pick
good
them to
game?
win. I'll
Because
pick them to win 2 more games, and it's only because I refuse to ever say they'll lose to the Cowboys. I don't
you
care.
know,
I'll self sabotage. It's
to
fine.
make this sad cast even more sad, Dallas looks pretty good this year.
Yeah. Maybe
No,
Dak's
wait.
leg will fall off.
I just want to know. So
God,
I said 45. What was your scores of the Chiefs? Both of you?
I said 41.
42.
41, 42, 45. So we're all in agreement that 40 plus is being put up on us. By the way, bold prediction. Tyreek Hill has 200 plus yards against us. And I'm not just saying that for the wow wows and the yow yows. That's a real prediction.
That'll be good for my fantasy team. That's about it. I'll have to share that meme I sent you earlier on our Instagram that has Landon Collins just staring at the back of Tyreek Hill saying, "Not again."
Yeah, I mean it checks out. Max, we're at the end of another episode here. You got any like one line that you'd like to share as we're leaving?
Follow us on
Oh,
everything. We're on every social media page there is.
Jesus, this influencer over here. Kenny, one complete non-run-on sentence. I don't even want a compound sentence. Fair enough. Whew. Well, will you look at that? After 2 short episodes, the sadness is back. We're spiraling. Kenny, he's got some issues. We're gonna have to recommend some counseling from his employer. But I'm your host, Eddie Jenkins, for Your Other Coast, Kenneth J. Proudfoot III. Your other host, Maximum Bacon, saying, remember, sometimes you climb out of bed in the morning and you think, I'm not going to make it. But you laugh inside, remembering all the times you felt that way. See ya.